Yeah, I'm here to ask you about Fridman.
Go ahead. We can do this again. That's fine.
Just tell me your opinion. Tell me
So
your.
I think that it's very simple, right? Lex and Zelensky should speak in the language that they are most fluent in to ease understanding. Again, this isn't a live interview. This isn't something they're doing in the moment. This will be edited. There will be post product. It'll be edited and post and things. English dubs, Ukrainian dubs, all the dubs of all the languages that they feel are necessary will be put in. It won't cause me any issue as a viewer, even though I don't speak Russian, right? I'll be able to understand fine. But I think that Lex wanting to maximize understanding is the right call here in this conversation. Yeah.
I think it's the worst possible call. I
Why?
think asking a president of a country who's being attacked by a country that wants to replace his language with the language to say, yeah, let's, as a head of state, why don't we conduct the discussion in the language that is being actively worked to replace yours?
It's the language Zelensky speaks best.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's the only relevant thing in a conversation with when again your goal is, if your
No,
goal is to
not
maximize
when the
communication.
discussion inevitably will be about Russia wanting to destroy Ukraine and replace it with the Russian language.
Wouldn't it be
Why
nice if
would
they both understood what each other was saying to the
are you
maximum
saying
amount?
that Zelensky's English is not up to par
It's
to?
serviceable.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the best choice for a 3 hour discussion. No,
well, it's the best choice in this context, definitely.
Well,
we
if we
disagree.
were going to find a middle ground, wouldn't we just say asking is not an issue, but not doing the interview because Zelensky might say
Yeah,
no would be an issue?
if Zelensky says no, and then Lex is like, I'm not doing the interview now. I think that is L for Lex, right? He should do the interview no matter whether Zelensky says he wants it in Russian or if he wants it in Ukrainian or if he wants it in Chinese, even, right? Like, you should do the interview with Zelensky no matter what language Zelensky wants to do it in. But I think that him asking to do it in Russian is reasonable, and I agree with the reasoning.
Zelensky's
100%.
English struggles are not. That would be his burden to carry through the interview anyway. So it should be probably his choice. Like if I was Lex, which I'm
Again, I
obviously not,
agree. It
he
should
should
be
do it anyway.
Zelensky's choice, but I think asking is no sin.
I wouldn't call it a sin. I prefer he probably would have asked in private, but I heard you earlier with the explanations of why maybe that would be too difficult to
Or
get a
it
hold of
just
him.
wasn't working,
I'm
right?
pretty sure he
for
didn't
reasons.
learn it just recently, Vladimir.
They won't?
There was a whole thing that he didn't, wasn't there?
What do you? Can you repeat that, please?
Oh,
You, Lucy. What did you just say?
oh no, I just said something to an audience member.
Oh, okay. Again, Zelensky. I'm not trying to insult the man. I think it's great. He speaks serviceable English. Yes, that's true. But and we did this test earlier. His Russian is just better.
Yeah, but
It's it.
he's not speaking as an individual that's just choosing the best language for the best fluency. He's a representative of a country that is now actively defending itself against
Yeah.
the Russian state that is trying to eliminate actively Ukrainian and replace it with Russian.
And when he explains that to Lex, I would like him to do it in a language which he can properly convey the horror.
Which is
Exactly.
the language that is supposed to replace his.
But he speaks it, and he speaks
It's
it
his
better. He's
native
probably
language.
grown up with
He's better
yes,
at it.
exactly.
I think it's
so it's like
irrelevant.
it's not. If you know Lex and Lex's content, you would also know that it's much more so a conversation where he like tries to connect with people more so than a debate or whatever. So if that happens to be in Russian, then that's good. And also, it would also be available to all the Russian audience, and maybe he could change some minds with
Yeah,
What's the audience
proper
do you think
conversation
Zelensky's
Good
trying
with
to
the
luck.
reach?
opposition leader,
Good luck.
where he can like present some ideas that
Yes,
are like
good-
really
good
good,
luck
and
with
maybe he can change some
changing-
minds like that.
Yes, good luck. Good luck with changing a Russian audience's minds with Lex Friedman and
Thinking you
Zelensky.
could change zero minds in an entire country is the dumb part. Of course you can. Even
What
if it's
audience
just
do you
even
think-
if it's just one Russian person who's like, huh, maybe Zelensky isn't a bad guy. Wouldn't that be better?
What
That's a
audience do you think he's
very
trying to reach by
naive
going on Lex?
thinking.
It's not a very naive thing. It's just very simple. It
No,
makes the
it's
interview more
extremely
genuine.
naive thinking.
Nothing is getting lost in translation because he can literally pinpoint exactly what he means. It opens up for a whole other audience that he wants to influence in a country that's like right up against it, and it's not for
Yes,
an English audience necessarily.
if you think that Lex Friedman and Zelensky interview will reach and influence the Russian audience, then I think you are being quite naive. Yes,
That's fine, and you can feel that way. But the thing is,
I
making
think
it
you are a
available
bit
or
out of
better
touch.
available.
To be quite
What?
honest, I
Do
think
you,
you're a bit out of touch.
you
No,
if
definitely not.
if
If you
Zelensky
think
is
every single
looking,
Russian is just a brainwashed like bot that believes what the government believes, then you're out of touch, like 100%.
Yes, of
hey,
course.
Zelensky's trying to reach an English
Like
speaking audience, an American
the
Hold on,
out
audience.
hold on,
of
hold
the
on. I want to
American.
hear what No Cow Mike has to say. No Cow Mike's
Yeah.
trying to get in. What do you have to say?
Listen,
Okay.
if Zelensky, if you think he's trying to reach like an English speaking, predominantly American audience that might be unsympathetic or kind of neutral, do you think Zelensky would be making a calculated decision that doing the interview in English, even if it's a little bit broken, not
Slowed
100%,
down, not blocked.
that people might relate better if he's doing it in English
That
than
might be a
been reading?
calculation he makes. I think it would be again. That's something he has to decide. I think that there is an argument, however, to allowing him to be in his native language allows him to more properly convey concepts, ideas, emotions, etc. That will be carried over in the dub to the English audience. But if there is an additional obstacle of him stumbling through the 3-hour interview, right, and getting caught up on ideas and words and being unable to properly convey things, that's going to be detrimental to his cause. Again, it's a
100%.
calculation he has to make.
He
And
has-
as I said before, he gets to decide. Zelensky, not you, not me, not Lucy, not all the people who are mad at Lex. Zelensky gets to pick, right?
Not Vivek.
Yeah, not anyone else. So
Like, I think-
yeah, I think that he's gonna have to weigh those, weigh the politics of it versus the efficacy of communication and make his own decision. Is there any other issues though you had with me, Lucy? Because you wanted to talk about the Lex thing.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go ahead. I'm giving you the chance. That's what I'm doing. But I do have to end soonish. But yeah.
Okay. I think we're using a very silly argument. Zelensky has, at this point, conducted how many interviews? Has he stumbled? Has
Many.
He been
Yes,
known-
some of
has
them
he
are
been
harder to
known
watch than others. Yes,
Has he been known to stumble and not get his ideas across?
they're
Is
short
he,
form
is he
interviews.
famous for that?
Especially in the beginning, it was very apparent, but his English has definitely improved since he's interacted so much, I assume, internationally.
It's better
But
than it was.
if
before, yeah.
like if I could choose to speak Danish right now and you would understand me because that's my native language, right? I could explain some concepts way better than I can in American or English, I guess. So why wouldn't I want to do that if I got the option to, right? Especially if it's an interview about
Oh,
something
and
very important.
basically explain why. And the whole idea of reaching a Russian audience is very, very out of touch. I'm sorry. If the idea that the death toll, the economic situation would not sway Russians, but an interview with
Well,
Lex,
Russian speaking, not necessarily Russians. There's a lot of countries that border
well,
Russia.
the
that speak
argument
Russian.
has been
Latvia,
Russians.
Estonia, etc.
The argument I was trying to make was that if the content is also more readily available for a Russian populace since it's in their language, I would argue that it has much more success at having influence over that, populace, rather than in a language that they might be otherwise
Let me ask you this,
blockaded.
Lucy. Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
if they do it in English, do you think that there should be a Russian dub for those who want to listen to it in Russian?
I honestly don't think it'll be even aired in Russia.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you think there should be a Russian language dub. If they do the conversation in English, would it be okay if Lex Fridman made a Russian dub and released that as well?
Like if he chose to, sure.
Yeah, if he wanted to. What would be wrong with that, if anything?
I mean, if he chose to, then sure, he can do it.
Okay, so
But what's the difference then?
What's the substantive difference here then?
Yeah.
The substantive difference is not demanding, requesting of Zelensky to speak in the language that is being actively pushed as the one to replace the language of his country.
But he already
Again,
speaks
there is
Russian.
a reason
Yeah,
for
that's
that. It
irrelevant.
isn't just It isn't
He
out
does
of nowhere that he.
So that's irrelevant that he speaks it. The fact that Ukraine has been Russified through the years and there are many Russian native speakers in it now, it's not an argument for what you're. It's not the argument that you think you're making.
Okay, but do you know how closely their languages relate to one another?
Of course, I know.
Okay. Then can you also admit
I am
that it's
a
so
person
closely
from
related?
East, they're in Europe as well, after all.
Is it so closely related that we could make the argument that even if it is differentiated between Russian and Ukrainian, that he can still speak Russian, and the interviewer, Lex, can also speak Russian, and it is his native
No.
language. He grew up with this language and learned it. Why would
No.
it be bad? Why?
Because
Besides the Russian replacement you're trying to argue for.
besides Russia waging a genocidal war against Ukraine and wanting to replace Ukraine
Yes.
with Russian, yes, I think
Yes.
that's a pretty
Besides
key.
that.
Besides the most important argument, you mean?
Yes, because we don't agree on that argument.
Well, you
So-
cannot agree, but then we don't really have anything to talk about. at
Well,
that
sure we
point.
do. Because
No.
if I don't agree with your
No, if
statement
you
that speaking
can-
in Russian isn't, condoning or like accepting Russian takeover over Ukraine, then
Look,
why?
I don't think we need to go down this route. Like, Lucy, if
Yeah, exactly.
Lex spoke fluent Ukrainian, I would agree with you. They should use Ukrainian. But
Well,
unfortunately,
they apparently are so interchangeable, even according to the person here. Then why not just have Lex?
I don't
speak in
agree with
Russian
that.
And
I think that even dialects, like I have trouble understanding some other people who speak English, who are from like Britain sometimes, right? Even though they're the same
That's
language, the
fair.
dialects are different enough that it's gonna be a struggle, right? So I don't go down that route, right? But at the end of the day, all we got, again, the argument's really simple. If you want to maximize, like Lex wants to maximize communication, and so he wants to speak in the language that Zelensky is best
maximizing
at.
communication
That's
should
just
not
it.
just be the only goal here. Not in
Why
this
not?
context.
Bigger reach, more influence.
Over what?
Why would that be
Over
bad? Everyone, right?
I think you can achieve the same results without Russian.
Well, you qualified it by saying it was more than, so obviously
Yeah.
you can't, right?
But I think you can achieve the same communication results even without both speakers using Russian. Yes.
Perhaps. But
No,
we're
not
speaking
perhaps,
about a
100%.
person who speaks Russian better than English.
Irrelevant.
It's
Not really, no.
irrelevant. That's what we gotta say.
That's,
It's not
that's,
irrelevant.
yeah, that's exactly where we disagree.
It's
It's
the
not
crux.
irrelevant at all.
It's not a
the
regular
issue.
meeting between.
It's the crux of the
people.
issue. But
As long as Zelensky gets the choice, then it doesn't.
yeah, no, Zelensky
we're
can-
all good,
can
right?
pick.
I mean,
I am okay with whatever Zelensky chooses. To be
okay,
quite frank
then
with
that
you.
100%.
that sounds
But I
like the
think that
compromise for everybody.
asking is fine, and in
Exactly.
fact, probably a good idea. But Zelensky can pick, and
also-
I think his choice should absolutely be respected. Absolutely.
And just to like conclude on it, Lex is probably the least problematic person I have experienced over the last year or two, right? So obviously he does this as like a courteous thing towards Zelensky. He's not doing it to be like fucking haha, we should speak Russian because they're trying to take your country or whatever. Like he's not doing this. So this argument, like I don't know where it's coming from
That's
besides
great,
people that
but-
are looking in from the outside.
That's
And it's
great.
just stupid to me.
Yeah, it is stupid for him to ask for that. Yes, I agree.
No, it's stupid to assume that he's asking out of malicious reasons,
It
knowing
doesn't-
Lex
his
and his
reasons
content.
do not matter.
Well, he's already asked, so that ship has sailed. We'll
it's-
see what the
If it's
response is.
malicious, then it's malicious. Otherwise, it's just.
But it's not
stupid.
malicious. That's the
Oh,
thing.
Otherwise, it's just stupid.
Do you believe that Lex asked him out of malicious reasons to speak in Russian?
No, I believe it was stupidity on his end.
Okay. We just
Okay.
disagree on that. That's fine. I do have to end. I love you all.
All
Lucy, I did say 6 p.m. Eastern, didn't I? Right? Like we've been.
The
start- the
listen.
meat of
Wait,
it
no,
was-
you didn't. You just said that
Did I
it's gonna
not?
happen.
I might not
No,
have. I
no,
might have
you
forgotten.
did.
That's very true.
There you go.
Alright.
It's
But-
like, there you go.
But yeah, like
Thank
we,
you guys so
we- we
much.
had a
I'll
whole
do it.
2-hour conversation on it. You can.
Well, now we had
have
a
to-
solid, juiced out 5 minute.
We
session.
did. We
It
did.
was
Thank
like,
you for coming. We could talk about it again sometime. Gang,
Right.
if you like the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. give me money, super chat, subs, all that really helps. Next stream will be Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We will have Destiny. We will have the Soy Pill. We will have Eucharist. We will have a few others, and we'll be talking about Luigi, hero or terrorist. Tune on in. Should be fun. Thanks for coming, gang. Who are we raiding out to? I don't see any. Hold on. Is Prime not streaming? Isn't it Monday?
I never got an alert that he went live.
Who?
Oh, it's not Monday, is it? It's Thursday.
Wait, who?
Prime Kai. Oh, that's
Oh.
sad. Okay. I don't see anyone streaming that. I just don't see anyone streaming.
I guess
Honestly.
we got to stay on.
Yeah. No, I'm not staying on. I gotta eat. I got
Oh,
things to
I'll
do.
see you
I got
then.
dogs to walk. Okay. I love you all. I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Ring, 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 ring.